Hello, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome you to the second annual Pokaiks the Children. This is an Orange Shirt Day event that's dedicated to the children of the past, the children of today, for the future generations. My name is Natu Yingson, Holy Song in Blackfoot, and my white name is Diana Frost. I'm the founder of CIF Reconciliation Society, and my mother and my two uncles were in residential school, and that's why I wanted to organize this event to honor them, and also to help people from the general public to be able to participate in Orange Shirt Day and come together and walk together, show support and learn from each other so that we can build a better tomorrow together. I'm very grateful for all the elders who came out to the pipe ceremony this morning, and to all the performers, and to my board, all the organizers for the event today, and of course to our sponsors. And so I wish you all a happy event and many blessings.
Okay, Nixokwa. Hello, my relations. I'm very honored to be here today to give you the blessing for the start of this important Pokaiks. I'm one of those children that went to residential school. So I will say the blessing in my language. Listen with your heart. Because all that came, you will have a safe journey home, your families, and this current virus that's around. We don't want to be done in with that virus. So with that, I will say my prayer. I will offer tobacco to the Creator. So it's always customary to offer tobacco so the Creator is in our presence. With that, I will say the prayer. Ayo chpatpio paki, ayo kibitaki. Ogro kapo akamukina noksitskoi kaki. Aaksih kanouto iksani kaaksana koana kapukawa kaki. Anna kiitopio, kanaksaki ta passele kama imatoak. Ogro kaya na koana na kapukawi poisksemani kaavatsitotopi. Oki chipata pio spommokina noksitskoi. Kokkina kana sokaapi. Kananstawa pidahkohkää kimmotsi pinnan. Annikom krististomsini taapää, pukai daksauma tapskuukinnaan. Aio tsipäätä piopak. Noh kohtuukinnaan noksiitsikoi. Hanitaan siitä mouttoh pinnan. Tahkanis siitä kanaut kais pinnan tsipäätä pio. Kennäkin ohkan staapään katsomat. Ainakaan naaksanaan, niin kristinään, noh tuots pommuukinnaan. Iksi koona kiitoppi vaikka puukauak. Kiitsi maadatsi taapassi. Kiitsi päätä pio. Pännilläkin ohkan staapään katsomat. Noksi kumuaka näitä pionaka aistaan nopio. Ainakaan ässäksi keippoi. Naa piousen. Niistä vatsemaan kammottaani. Se päätä pios.
Danse, Oki, bonjour, and hello. My name is Chantal Chagnon. I am Cree, Anishinaabe, and Métis from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation in Saskatchewan, which is in Treaty 6 territory. But I think it's always important to acknowledge the land upon which we stand. Because if you don't know where you are, how do you know where you're going? This is the land of the Treaty 7 people. The Blackfoot of Siksika, Kainai, and Pagani. The Sarsitene from Tsutsuna, and the Stoney Nakoda from Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. We're also walking in the footsteps of Métis Region 3, which is why I proudly wear my Métis sash to act as that bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous culture. When we acknowledge the land, we're acknowledging far more than that. We're acknowledging the families that have been here for thousands upon thousands of generations. We're acknowledging the struggles that we have gone through and where we need to go to heal together in a good way. It honors the relationship that we have to each other and to Mother Earth, and the responsibility that we have to learn about that past so we can make a better future for all of our generations. To welcome everyone into the circle today, I would like to share the Cree welcome song, Traditionally, when we sing songs, we sing in rounds of 4 to honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. But this song is a little different. We actually sing it in rounds of 3, and that's to keep the circle open and welcoming so everyone completes the circle today. Because in a circle, we're all connected. There's no beginning, there's no end. No one is greater or less than anyone else in the circle, just like in the hoop of life. So it teaches us to honor each other for those differences. Because if everybody was exactly the same, the world would be incredibly boring and nothing would ever get done. So we need those differences. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to agree 100% of the time, but it's when we come together to find those compromises, that's truly what makes our community resilient. Mia Sin, the Cree welcome song, is from the Nataha family from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation in Saskatchewan. I honor that family for keeping this song and this story alive, because for many generations it was illegal for us to speak our languages, for us to share our stories, for us to share our songs, or even for us to be ourselves. And so it's a blessing and a gift that we are still here and we can still share all of these teachings, songs, stories, and who we are with the world. Mia Sin doesn't just mean welcome. It also means beautiful. Mia Sin, Mia Sin, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwagomaga, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino, Mia Sin, Mia Sin, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwagomagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino, Mia Sin, Mia Sin, Hasemina, Hasemina, Epetakote, Niwagomagan, Hota, Homa, Kitaskino. Hi, and welcome to the circle today.
Hello everyone, this is Wind Dancer, and today we're going to have a wonderful day because today Derek Starlight is going to be performing with the Nuppets. Okay, this is going to be a wonderful time. We're here at the studio. Hi, mean girl. Hi. And here we have the organizers. Let's talk to them. Hey, girl. How you doing?
Good, girl. How are you today?
Good. Tell everybody who you are.
So I'm Chantal Chagnon.
Okay, and tell us about your program.
So this is for Pokaiks, and so we're doing a huge march today, which is super, super exciting. And then the second part is all of these artists and wonderful storytellers and wonderful elders, basically sharing their experiences and their stories and incredible art, of course. But we're talking a lot about Orange Shirt Day and how important it is to celebrate it every year.
Do you have an orange shirt for me later?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, and you have masks too, don't you?
Absolutely.
Oh, this is going to be such a cool day. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And who do we have over here?
Hi, I'm Molly.
Hi, Molly. Say hello to everybody on Wind Dancer Cam.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, and so what is your job here?
What is my job here? I'm one of the organizers as well.
Oh, you do? This must cost a fortune.
Oh, yeah.
And who else is performing?
Everyone.
Everyone? Everybody but everybody's going to be here. Stay tuned, everyone. Oh, my God. Okay, we're going to take a look around, and Derek Starlight's going to come up soon with all his puppets, isn't he?
Oh my gosh, I am so excited.
Yes, that's going to be all of us. Okay, and once again, this is Wind Dancer Cam. Stay tuned.
Okay, nistuni taniku natuyipita. My name is Eugene Braverock. I'm born and raised here in southern Alberta by my grandmother, Florence Braverock, who is a residential school survivor. Very thankful for my upbringing and the culture and the language that was saved, and the traditions that were passed down to me, and the encouragement that I've been given to be proud of who I am and never forget where I come from. And you know what, it's so important for me right now, especially again with Pokaiks, children. That's every child does matter, and in saying that, I really want to express my legacy, and that is language, culture, traditions. On my journey through, from the res to Hollywood, I didn't have to lose cultural values. It's actually what gave me those stepping stones to succeed. I'm proof that you don't have to lose traditional values to succeed. One of the things that, having the opportunity to share my language, and I hope that I honor my elders by inspiring our children and showing that dreams do come true. I am living proof. And again, in sharing my language, sharing my culture, language, that's who we are as Indian people. It brings us back to the earth. It brings us back to Mother Nature, and it's so important. A lot of the things that have been taken away from us through the residential school, and so I'm here to help retain, preserve, and educate for future generations, because yes, every child does matter. I'm very thankful to be here again to support Pokaiks, and I wanted to send a shout out to some of our sponsors, ATB Financial, Glenbow Museum, Heritage Park, Alberta Culture Days, and the Government of Alberta. Again, I'm very thankful to have the opportunity to have a platform, again, to help inspire our youth and encourage them all to, again, remember who they are. It's about identity and getting back to who we are as Indigenous people, and that's a community, to get back to those value systems of wellness and community. It's not about greed and economy and money. It's about heart and spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, we've already been introduced to her before. I'd like to introduce Chantal Chagnon.
Oh. Thank you so much, Jean. Tansi Okibonzu again. I think it's really important when we talk about the legacy of residential schools that we actually talk about some of the underlying issues that are currently in our society. And part of that, when we look at the staggering numbers of murdered and missing Indigenous women, we have to understand that that is a product of what happened to us in residential school. In residential school, women were not taught to learn and to have value in who they were, especially as Indigenous women. We were told that we were less than. And this has led to the society believing that we're less than. This has led to a lot of women and their families, Two-Spirit women and girls, to go missing or have been murdered, and their families are still striving for justice. We're looking for answers, and we're looking for solutions, and I think it's very important to talk about that. The song that I'd like to share with you is the Mother Song. This is an Anishinaabe song, and this song carries so much weight. When I first learned it, I was so thankful to be able to learn it in a good way. It comes from the Sault Ste. Marie area, and I'm not quite sure who the elder was who shared it with my friend, but it's been such an invaluable piece of my healing. The Mother Song honors those mothers, the mothers who are struggling to raise their children when they didn't have the ability to raise or be raised in a good way because of the residential school. In my family, the intergenerational trauma has been staggering. It's been passed down to me and my mom and my kukum, my grandmother. And for many years, there was a lot of hurt and a lot of pain and a lot of abuse and a lot of healing that I had to do. But I was very thankful because I was able to break that cycle with my own children. My kukum was raised in residential school, grandmother, and because of this, she didn't learn how to raise kids in the right way. She didn't learn how to share them unconditional love. You know, all she learned was pain and hurt and trauma and abuse. And in turn, that's all she could share with her own kids because that's all she knew. And then when my mom grew up, even though my kukum had moved off the res, hopefully to avoid residential school, she didn't realize that she carried those scars within her. And so she passed that on to my mom. And that's all my mom knew growing up, was that hurt and that pain and that shame and that trauma and that abuse, that legacy of residential school. And so when she had me, I experienced the same thing, that hurt and that trauma and that abuse and that shame for being Indigenous. But what helped me to break that cycle of abuse was recognizing and reclaiming who I was as an Indigenous woman. I was able to break that cycle of abuse with my own children because I knew that was not my legacy to carry forward. I was able to honor my children and forgive my mom and my kukum for what happened to them growing up. But also, I knew that to heal, I had to reclaim who I was fully and completely. And to heal, I reclaimed myself as an Indigenous woman. I reclaimed my teachings and my ceremony and my songs. I reclaimed the drum, which is our voice that unites each and every one of us. So when I sing this song, I sing it for all of those mothers, those grandmothers, those great-grandmothers, those future parents. In the song, you can hear the mother calling out to her children to keep them safe. And then you can hear the children calling back. But as we sing it, the children get further and further and further away. This sometimes happens naturally. But unfortunately, with the residential schools, we had no choice. The children were taken away from their parents. And then we had the 60s scoop, where the children were taken away again from their communities and their parents. And now we have the legacy of that residential school system, of that inability to parent, but also residential school 2.0, which is unfortunately the foster care system, the social system, which is broken. We need to look at our core and how we heal. And as a nation, we have to reclaim who we are. Be proud of the blood that runs through our veins, the culture that is strong within us, and the ancestors that lead us on our path. I sing this for all of our mothers and the children who've drifted away, but to remember to come home. This is the Mother Song. Way-ya, way-ya, hey-ya-yo, way-ya, hey-ya-yo, way-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya-ho, way-ya, way-ya, hey-ya-yo, way-ya, hey-ya-yo, way-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya-ho, hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya-yo, hey-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya-yo, way-ya, hey-ya-yo, way-ya, hey-ya, hey yo, way 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 way hey yo, way hey yo, way hey yo, way way hey ya ho, way way hey yo, way hey yo, way hey ya ho, way way hey yo, way hey yo, way hey ya ho, way hey yo, way hey yo, way hey yo. Way hey ya ho, way way hey yo, way hey yo, way hey ya ho. There are so many beautiful songs that have been brought forward to reinvigorate women's spirits, to be able to honor those that we have lost, but honor those that are left behind. As we strive for justice for all of our women, for all of our daughters that we have lost. We have so many beautiful strength in those songs that we share. So one of the songs is known as the Strong Woman Song. Originally, it was known as the Turtle Song, and the reason it was known as the Turtle Song, as well as the Women's Song, is if we look at a turtle's back, it actually has 13 bumps to represent the 13 moons in a year. And along the edge, it represents those 28 days. There's 28 ridges on the outside of the turtle to represent those 28 days in the moon cycle, which in turn is within the woman. We represent that turtle, but we also represent our connection to Grandmother Moon. So as we sing this song, we honor our connection to the water. We honor our connection as the life givers and to Mother Earth, Grandmother Moon, who guides us on our way. This song has become an anthem for murdered missing Indigenous women. It is Anishinaabe and Cree. It comes from the East Coast, well, not the East Coast, East Central. And when we sing it, it just really empowers who we are as women. It helps us to reclaim our spirit. When we drum it, we do it with a heartbeat. It reminds us of the heartbeat that connects each and every one of us. It's that pulse that's throughout everything in nature and throughout our very being. And that flow, it reminds us to honor our tears as they come and honor the relationships that we have before it's too late. When I sing it, I raise it up every octave, every round. And that's really that intention that we're setting to rise above any of the challenges that we face. So this is the Strong Woman Song. Way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. way hey ya hey hi yo, way hey ya ho way hey ya, way hey ya hey hi yo, way hey ya hey hi yo, way hey ya ho way hey ya, way hey ya hey hi yo. Hey, hey, ya, way, hey, ya, hey, yo. Way, hey, ya, way, hey, ya, hey, yo. Way, hey, ya, hey, hi, yo. Way, hey, ya, ho, way, hey, ya. Way, hey, ya, hey, hi, yo. Way, hey, ya, hey, hi, yo. Way hey ya ho way hey ya, way hey ya hey hi yo. Hey hey ya, way hey ya hey yo. Way hey ya, way hey ya hey yo. Way hey ya hey hi yo. Way hey ya ho way hey ya. Way hey ya hey hi yo. Way hey ya hey hi yo. Way hey ya ho way hey ya. Way hey ya hey hi yo. Way hey ya hey yo. Hey hey ya. Way hey ya hey yo, way hey ya hey hi yo, way hey ya ho way hey ya, way hey ya hey hi yo, way hey ya hey hi yo, way hey ya ho way hey ya, way hey ya hey hi yo. The next song I'd like to share, you'll also probably hear this next week as we celebrate, well, not really celebrate, as we honor murdered missing Indigenous women with Sisters in Spirit. The vigil happens every October 4th, and it happens across Turtle Island. It's our way to hold space for those ancestors that have passed, for those women that are missing, for those that have been taken from us too soon, but for their families. It's not about them because once they're gone, their memories are still with us. They're at peace. But it's the families that are striving for justice. Those are the ones that we really march for. We honor the stories of the women and the legacy that they've left behind to all of those girls and those two-spirit people that we have lost so dearly in our communities, and we miss them. This song is the Women's Warrior Song, and it reminds us of that strength that we have within us. When a woman is taken from our community, there's a huge gap left. Women are the ones that are the caregivers. They bring everyone in their community together, and they honor everyone in a good way. Traditionally, it was our grandmothers that would lead the way. They were the ones who were in charge. Because I don't know about you, but my cookum's scary. Nobody argues with that woman. But when women lead the way, they make sure everyone's voice is heard. They make sure that everyone is taken care of. And when we sing the Women's Warrior Song, it reminds us that to be a warrior, it's not someone who fights. It's someone who stands up for what they believe in. It's someone who picks up the pieces when there is someone that is gone from our lives. They take care of their kids, their grandkids, their great-grandkids. They're the ones that step in the community when they're needed. The gentle warrior is the most powerful warrior because they're the ones that make the legacy for the future. When we sing this song, we honor all of the warriors, the ones on the front lines and the one keeping the home fires burning. We also honor that warrior spirit in each and every one of us. And it reminds us to stand up for what's right, because that's truly when we'll see those changes happen. This is from the West Coast. This is a Salish song. And I honor those women out there. I honor the women who've gone missing on Hastings Street and down the road of tears, the highway of tears. So this is the Women's Warrior Song. Akio, hey, hey, Akio. The last song I'd like to share with you is the Women's Honor Song. When we sing it to honor, of course, all of those women, but we also sing it to honor all of our past generations, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers, the ones that have brought us to this moment. It teaches us to honor that pulse, that heartbeat in every one of us. And when we hear the song, we tend to pulse with it. It's oftentimes when we pick up a baby and we're trying to calm that baby, we tend to bounce. And it's that same thing. It's that rhythm. It's that pulse that we naturally have when we're trying to take care of each other. It's that rhythm that overtakes you when you're dancing and really connects you to the world around you and the people in your community. This song is from Joan Henry, who's a Arapaho and Cherokee. And so I share this song and honor her for sharing this song as well with the world. It's such a pivotal and beautiful song. This is the Women's Honor Song, or Anageya. Anageya, weha weha, weha no weha weha we weha Anageya, weha weha, weha no weha weha we when away, no way, when away we are, when away, no way we yo, hey we ya, way high ya, way high we ya, Anageya, way how we ya, way how no way how we ya, way we are, when away, no way, when away we are, when away, no way we yo, hey we are, way high we are, Anageya, way how we are, way how no way how we are, way we are, when away, no way, when away we are, when away, no way we yo, hey we are, way high we are, Anageya, way how we are, way how no way how we are, way we are, when no way, when no way we are, when no way we oh hey we are, way high we are, Anageya, way how we are, way how no way how we are, way we are, we are.
Hi, it's Wind Dancer back with Wind Dancer Cam, and today we're going to learn how to put on a mask. Hi, girlfriend, how you doing?
I'm good, Wind Dancer. How are you?
Good, and you're going to show us how to put on a mask here?
Absolutely. So here we have the orange Pokaiks mask. So Pokaiks the children, which is the event we're at, which is very exciting. But a lot of people put on their masks wrong. We want to make sure that they're putting them on correctly. So the first thing we do, of course, is put it over our nose and cover our mouth. And we want to make sure that we wrap it around. I know sometimes when we're wearing our bling, it gets in the way, so we want to make sure that we pull our bling out so it stays put. And we're just going to make sure that our nose is covered, but also she can see. And there we go. This is how we put on a mask.
Very good. Her name is Mean Girl. Hope that'll shut her up. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Okay, this is so exciting. And now we're going to go inside the studio. This is where all the magic happens. Take a look at this place here. And look, there's Granny and everyone ready. The cameras are here. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. There's going to be so many entertainers today. My goodness, look at this. Oh, the soundboard. Where's our camera guy here? Hi, and you're playing the camera, are you?
I'm playing the camera.
Okay, in a bit there, you got to show me how to do it, okay?
Absolutely.
All righty.
It's really easy. Anybody can do it.
That's so wonderful. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Okay, this is Wind Dancer Cam. See you later. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Deanna, and I'm Cree Dene from Fond du Lac First Nation. I'm an engineer, an Indigeneer, and I'm proud to be the president of IndigiSteam. IndigiSteam is a new society with a vision of learning and sharing two-eyed seeing so we can walk together in STEM and STEAM. STEM represents the human endeavors of science, technology, engineering, and math. A in STEAM represents the humanities, culture, arts, dance, creativity, as well as ingenuity and innovation. Our programs seek to illustrate to Indigenous youth that Indigenous people have been innovators and scientists for thousands of years. We also share, with respect and acknowledgement, Indigenous cultural perspectives in STEM for non-Indigenous people. We're excited to show some of the programs and projects that youth from our summer camps and robotics programs have been working on.
Try moving it around. Like, keep it up, like it has to be on the ground.
Hi there, this is Wind Dancer back with Wind Dancer Cam. Hi again, how you doing?
Good, how are you, Wind Dancer?
And you're the editor and the cameraman?
Yeah, it's my job.
Oh my God, you're the brains behind it all.
Well, we try.
Yes, can you show us a little bit on how you do production?
Sure. So all the cameras come into my feed here, so we can see all these different feeds that I've got. And so this is the cameras that we have possibilities with. And then whatever is in this one is what actually goes on TV. So we can switch from this one to this one by pulling this dial. And if you watch right there, it'll magically just fade. You can see Nathan up there arranging your friends.
That is awesome.
Looks like they're having lunch without you. That's
yeah, I'll be up there in a bit.
So that's how that works. Nice and smooth. And then we can control all of the cameras right here. So I can control our cameras up there. I can move them left and right.
Uh-huh. And how many cameras do you have?
We have 6 cameras here.
Yeah, that's too many.
It's too many.
Can you show us over here? Okay, what is this over here?
So all this changes our lights up there. So all on the stage, so I can change all the lights any color I want. It's as simple as running an iPhone. It's really easy.
Can you show us an example?
Well, okay, those lights at the back there, they're all blue right now.
Uh-huh.
And no, they're not.
Oh my goodness. Magic.
Yellow. Now they're green. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And what's this over here?
This here controls any media we might have to play, whether it's an extra video or a extra track, maybe some music. So we all have separate computers for separate things, so that we don't get mixed up and our computers don't have to work too hard.
Okay.
And this is the brains behind the operation. So this brings all of the audio in from all the different places in the building, and then we can mix and match here and slide them up and down and send them out to our speakers in the house and also to our live stream for our audiences.
Wow, so many stuff to do behind production.
So much time, yeah.
Yeah, and where's your cameras at?
So I have cameras all over the place. I have cameras up on the walls over here hiding. And I've got main cameras here. And then we've got more cameras behind the scenes if we need them too.
How much would it cost just for one camera?
Those cameras are about $6,000 each.
$6,000? Oh my goodness. Well, of course, I'm going to be in front, I'm an actress myself.
Yeah, I've seen all your work.
Yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
a camera would have to be expensive to show me.
Absolutely. 4K or nothing, right?
Yes. Well, thank you very much. Okay, once again, this is Wind Dancer Cam, and on with our show. Bye, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, comedian puppeteer who can do thousands of voices from the Muppets, Looney Tunes, Disney characters, Star Wars, Simpsons, WWE superstars. He has traveled across North America entertaining children and adults alike. From the Tsuut'ina Nation, Derek Starlight.
Hello, my name is Derek Starlight, and I come from the Tsuut'ina Reservation, which is west of Calgary. When I was a kid, The Muppet Show was the biggest thing on television. There was a Sunday night tradition, not just with my family, but with all the families throughout Canada, where on CBC, The Wonderful World of Disney used to come on television, and then after that, it was the old Muppet Show. When I was the age of 3, I wanted to go to Sesame Street and meet the Muppets, and go to see Kermit the Frog and Big Bird and Bert and Ernie. And my mother had always told me that Sesame Street is far, far away. But if you're good, Santa Claus will bring you all the Muppets. So I took a crayon, and I didn't know how to write at the time, but I tried to write to Santa Claus saying, can you bring me Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Big Bird, and Bert and Ernie, and the Cookie Monster. And one Christmas morning, I woke up and there was a whole bunch of presents. And the first one I opened, I remember, was a big red box. And I opened it up, and there was Kermit the Frog. And ever since then, I've been hooked on being the Muppets and trying to follow the dream of trying to get to Sesame Street. And asking that question, what everybody has been asking for years, how do you get to Sesame Street? Throughout my school years, I've entertained kids in the schoolyard and in elementary during recess, playing with puppets and learning how to do the art of puppetry. Then I learned throughout my junior high years how to do every single one of the voices. I've been practiced every single day trying to sound like Kermit the Frog and then the rest of the Muppets. And when I got older, I created my own puppet characters and put them on the Aboriginal People's Television Network, APTN. And from there, the Muppets have been with me ever since. I like to dedicate this song to Jim Henson, and to all our Native American brothers and sisters, from the elders to the children. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kermit the Frog and the Rainbow Connection. Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know you're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered? when wish on the morning star. Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da do, la da 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 lee la loo. Thanks a lot, you guys. In 1990, Jim Henson had passed away. And when Jim Henson died, that was the day that I dedicated my life to the art of puppetry. And I had very supportive parents, my mom Carol and my dad Jesse. My dad used to call me his little Beau. And when I was a child, I used to have long braids, just like this puppet here that I have, who I call Little Beau. And my mother had always told me, follow your dreams, and one day they'll come true. And so with the teachings of Jim Henson, I learned every single step that he did, read every single book and every film that he did. So this is Little Beau here. That's going to sing you guys a little song. Are you ready, Little Beau?
Okay, I'm ready. Music, please. Halfway down the stairs is a stair where I sit. There isn't any other stair quite like it. It's not at the bottom, it's not at the top. So this is a stair where I always stop. Halfway up the stairs isn't up and isn't down. It isn't in the nursery, it isn't in a town. And all sorts of funny thoughts run around my head. There isn't really anywhere, it's somewhere else instead. Halfway down the stairs is a stair where I sit. There isn't any other stair quite like it. It's not at the bottom, it's not at the top. So this is a stair where I always stop.
Good. This next puppet I have here, his name is the Great Warrior Hunter. I started really making puppets when I was in my early 20s. My cousin Twyla Starlight and I got together and we start. I gave her the drawings of the characters that I wanted to make, and at the time I really didn't know how to sew puppets. You know, it's very difficult to do. But you know, me and my cousin Twyla, we learned together on how to put these puppets together. And with the warrior here, you know, he's a traditional Aboriginal man here. I made this puppet after, you know, my uncles and my cousins who are humorous. When you go to a powwow or to a conference, there's always native humor. And, you know, there's the old saying, you know, if a native likes you, he'll tease you and make fun of you. And that's how they try to get to know each other. But the warrior here, he wears his traditional outfit because, you know, he is proud of who he is. And he wants every child out there to be proud of who you are and don't care what people say about you. And so the warrior is going to sing a song all about it. Are you ready? I'm ready. Okay, music, please. And if you have a close-up, that'll be fine, okay? If you're proud to be a native, clap your hands. If you're proud to be a native, clap your hands. If you're proud to be a native and you really want to show it, if you're proud to be a native, clap your hands. If you're proud to be a native, stomp your feet. If you're proud to be a native, stomp your feet. If you're proud to be a native and you really want to show it, if you're proud to be a native, stomp your feet. If you're proud to be a native, pat your head. If you're proud to be a native, pat your head. If you're proud to be a native and you really want to show it, if you're proud to be a native, pat your head. If you're proud to be a native, poke your nose. If you're proud to be a native, poke your nose. If you're proud to be a native and you really want to show it, if you're proud to be a native, poke your nose. If you're proud to be a native, clap your hands. If you're proud to be a native, clap your hands. If you're proud to be a native and you really want to show it, if you're proud to be a native, clap your hands. Thank you. Now just throw cash. For the past 15 years, I've been working with CMA Entertainment. My agent, Eddie Burkett, has been promoting me across the country. I've had the opportunity to work with, you know, the greatest comedians that are out there. My favorites has always been Howie Miller, Don Bernstick, Conway Kootenay, and Winston Whitney. I'd like to dedicate this little piece to them. Maestro, please. This is the Bologna Chef. Yes, my name is Bologna Chef, and I'd like to sing a song about my favorite thing in the world. B is for bologna, it's my favorite treat. B is for bologna, it's very good to eat. B is for bologna, it's better than dried meat. Oh, bologna, bologna, bologna starts with B. B is for bologna, it's my favorite treat. B is for bologna, it's very good to eat. B is for baloney. It's better than dried meat. Oh, baloney, baloney, baloney starts with B. Okay, to everybody out there in native land, I'm gonna teach you how to make the best bologna sandwich ever. You take a bread, then you take a bologna, then you take another bread. Voila! B is for bologna. It's my favorite treat. B is for bologna. It's very good to eat. B is for bologna. It's better than dried meat. Oh, bologna, bologna, bologna starts with B. Bologna, bologna, bologna starts with B. Bologna, bologna, bologna starts with B. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I call my characters the Nuppets. They're half native and half puppet. This is my Granny Nuppet, and Granny here is probably one of the most famous characters that I have created. This puppet has traveled across all of Canada and into the United States, even overseas in Hawaii, New Zealand, and Tahiti. This puppet here is after my real-life granny, Mary Jane Starlight. This puppet hosted the Aboriginal Achievement Awards in 2007 with Adam Beach and filmed the movie with the late Gordon Tatusis and David Hasselhoff. Granny here tells children to follow their dreams and say no to the bully. And if you have a dream that's so important to you, to follow it every step of the way as you go in life. Even when you're down and sad, always follow your dream. And if you have a dream that keeps you going through life, nobody can touch you or hurt you as long as that dream's in your heart. And Granny, throughout all the years that I've been traveling with her, if she had a camera in her eyes, you would see all the children that we have entertained across Canada and all the wonderful performers that we performed with, like Don Burnstick and Tom Jackson and Susan Aglukark, Shane Yellowbird, Jennifer Podemski. The list keeps going on. And if she had a camera in her eyes, she would like to save time in a bottle. And she'll sing a song all about it.
Yes, I think you'll really like this song here. Okay, I'm ready. If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. There never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memories of how they were answered by you. There never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with. If I were to spend time in a bottle, thank you. I would like to thank everybody out there for watching today. You know, I am proud of our Aboriginal people today. And yes, dreams can come true. It wasn't that long ago that Obama became president of the United States of America. I do believe one day we will see the very first Aboriginal Prime Minister right here in Canada. And children, it could be any one of you. Granny loves you. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, traditional and contemporary duo that use music and dance to share their culture by spreading good medicine through their teachings in their art. They had the honor to work with over 5,000 youth in 2019. Their belief is music is healing and dancing is freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, the Healers.
Woohoo! Well, Tanse, Nisigasun. Anin Shikwagin. Hello, everybody. My name is Kurt Young. Wasn't Derek Starlight awesome?
Uki, nistu anakok, achkomia nistian shkaki. Uki nistuni danako, Pearl. Hello, everyone. We are the Healers.
It's always important for us as First Nations to start off with an honor song. I'm from Treaty 4. So I like to send an honor song out to the original people of this land. It's always important for us to follow our protocol. We are a contemporary group, but we like to follow our traditions by starting off with an honor song. As you can see, we are in a different world right now. That's why we got this Zoom going on. We did perform last year, so we want to thank the organizers for having us last year. Last year was a live event, but as we can see, we are in a different world this year. And that's why we do these honor songs, to honor the ones that don't speak, to honor the animals, to honor the trees, to honor the water, to honor Mother Earth. This is medicine for any of you who need it out there. This is a good time to say a prayer. An inside prayer for yourself, a prayer for somebody else. And it just goes to show that even us as First Nations people, we used to have territories that we were lucky enough to take care of. We never owned land. And as we can see with this pandemic, that Mother Earth will never belong to human beings. We belong to Mother Earth, and that's why we do these honor songs. Hi, hi.
We honor our ancestors by acknowledging the territory that we are on. Treaty 7 territory, which includes the Dene, Old Sarcee, now known as Satina, the Morley, which includes Wesley, Bearspaw, and Chiniki, Métis Region number 3, and the Siksikaitsitapi Nitsitapi Blackfoot Confederacy, which includes Siksika, Gaina, and Bigani.
We're going to share a song called Abbas Daduki. But before we do that, we'd like to send a special prayer to Lexi and her family. She passed away, and she was somebody in the community that was very young, and she affected a lot of people. So just a big shout out, and I want to send this song out to her as well and her family. Way ah, ah. Way ah, way ah, way ah, Abbas Daduki Ispumakina Oh Creator, will you help us? Way ah, way ah, way ah, way ah, Abbas Daduki Ispumakina Oh Creator, will you help us? Way ah, way ah, all we are saying is give peace a chance.
So just to introduce Orange Shirt Day, Pokaiks, the children. I just want to touch on that it has affected our people for many years now, and I believe that it's people like yourselves who are here and those who are on the front lines making sure that the healing is happening that needs to happen is ensured. I think that is the most important thing about the awareness of today, because we can focus on the pain and the hurt that was brought by colonization and the assimilation, but I think that we've done, so much work, and we've come so far as a strong nation that, sending the message of staying on top of it all is the most important thing for us to do.
We're going to share our first song, and it's called I Generation. As we said, we are a traditional and contemporary group, and this is part of our contemporary part of our show. We were lucky enough in 2019, as Jean said, is to work with 5,000 youth in 35 different schools. And I also was lucky enough to be a part of a group called We Are All Treaty People. And traveling around and getting to do questions and answers with a lot of the generation that is coming up was quite an amazing thing. And that's what was part of the inspiration for this song. But it was actually inspired mostly by an elder. I was expecting a important phone call for a show, and my phone had buzzed. And one of the things that I was taught that day is that you should respect your elders and not look at your phone. I looked up, and the elder had saw that I looked at my phone, and he said, "You know what? It's okay." He said, "Finish with what you need to do." He said, "But I compare technology as to when First Nations first got knives, because we used rocks and we used things of the land. And the knives were a much faster and better way to, skin our hides, to help us survive." And he said, "I compare technology to that. It is the future. But if you don't know what you're doing with that technology or with that knife, you can cut yourself." He said, "So I try to encourage my people," he said, "my grandchildren, to always have respect, because maybe when you're done with all your statuses and your updates, you look up and your elder might not be there." So that's what I took away. It was very serious and a good lesson to always respect your elders. And we want to give a big shout out to our elders, because without them, none of us would be here. Are we really here together? Can we download one another? There's 1,000 friends with few connections, 1,000,000 neighbors all alone. There's an answer to everyone's problems. Prescription pills left to solve them. Are we the I generation? System control population. Are we the I generation? Free thinking population. Can we break away from the feed? Have truth conspiracies. We are the keepers of this land. Mother Nature's in our hands. Are we the I generation? Free thinking population. We come from a strong generation. Free thinking population. Sing it with us at home. We come from a strong generation. Free thinking population. Sing it with us. Ooh. We can hear you at home. Whoa. Your last time. Generation, everybody. So we can hear you clapping at home. So we're actually gonna pass the microphone over to Pearl. She's gonna sing one of her songs. First of all, before we do that though, I'd just like to say that Pearl is a huge person in the community. She runs many drum groups and actually many different circles in Calgary here. And one of the main things that she does is every Thursday is she gets women together and does a drum circle. So she's very, very active in the community. And for me, it's always important to have that woman's voice on stage. I've been doing this show for almost 20 years now. And the one thing that I feel like I'm missing when I don't have it is a woman's voice. And I think it really adds balance, and it adds almost a very good, comfortable feeling, especially in our powwow when we have backup singers sing along. It really it reminds me of home. It reminds me of children, tall grass, and almost like a summer day. So I'm going to let Pearl introduce this next song.
So I'm going to sing the Strong Woman song, and this is a song that came to a woman who was an inmate in Kingston Prison at the time. And she passed this song on to the group of women there. They would always sit together and drum and sing. And this song has spread all across Turtle Island and possibly further. This song is quite familiar, and the version of it is a whole lot more powerful than the way I sing it, but this is the way this song was passed on to me.
if you're at home, make sure that, I know like with this also all this social distancing and staying at home, try to get up and round dance if you can. You know, if you hear,
Move those hips.
yes, we're gonna play a few more round dance songs in the show. So make sure if you hear that drum, make sure you get up and move to the beat and move to the music. Music. When we talk about Every Child Matters, music was a huge part of helping me with a learning disability. I actually, when I was about grade 3, I figured out that it was hard to keep up with the rest of the students, especially coming from schools that were on the reserve. It was hard to keep up with the rest of the children, and at that time it was called a learning disability. I'm not sure what they call it now. I know the education system has changed since I've been it, but one thing that I found throughout them putting me in those classes and tutoring and everything, it didn't help me with my education. And I think it's because as First Nations and as people, we all take information in differently. Therefore, schooling is not going to work for everybody. And for me, it was difficult. But I found a guitar and I found music. And it's something that I talk about when I travel to schools, is that I made my disability into a strength. And that's what I believe that music is. Music is a strength, it's a medicine, and it was a huge teaching tool for the First Nations people. We believe that music is medicine, our dancing is our healing, and our story represents our ancestors. And one day we might become those ancestors, so it's good to write songs that are of today and that have relevance of what's happening in our communities. And this one here is called Water is Life. And I know that First Nations people have been looked at as people who protest, but I really don't think we've ever protested in our lives. I think that we've only tried to protect, not protest. And so this is called Water is Life. Listen to the land she speaks. Open up your eyes. Feel the sand beneath your feet. Feel the water for miles. Smell the fresh mountain air while eating forbidden fruit. We are protectors of this land, slaves to economies, plans. We-ya-yo, 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 we-ya-hey, we-ya-hey, hey-ya-hey, hey. Do this for our future. Water is life. Water is life, a gift that flows through us. Let's take care of her, and she'll take care of us. We're protectors, woo, of this land. It's up to us. We do this for our future. Water is life. Another one, sing it with us at home. We-ya, ya, yo. We-ya, yo. We-ya, ya, yo. We-ya, yo. We-ya, hey. Woo! We-ya, hey. Hey-ya, hey. We do this for our future. Water is life. Sing it with us at home. We-ya, ya, yo. We-ya, yo. We-ya, ya, yo. We-ya, yo. We-ya, hey. We-ya, hey. Hey-ya, hey. We do this for our future. Water is life. Mother Earth is crying, sending us the signs. Listen to the land she speaks. Open up your eyes. Let us stand. Let us stand together tonight. We do this for our future. Water is life. We do this for our future. Water is life. Sing it one more time with us at home. We do this for our future. Water is life. We do this for our future. Water is life. There you go, everybody at home. We can hear you clapping. It's wild to do this in this environment, but it's great. It's fun. Hey, Pearl, what do you think?
It is. Yes, it sure is. So, the teachings. So I am going to talk about the 7 teachings. These teachings that I have learned are from the Anishinaabe. I am so very grateful that they are so open with their sharing, with their teachings. Starting with teaching, the first teaching, the eagle represents love. And the most powerful words that we can say is, I love you. Always remembering that the eagle loves us so much, he carries our prayers to Creator. Teaching number 2 is the buffalo, which represents respect. The buffalo gave its life to us so that we can have everything that we need: food, clothing, shelter. So we respect the buffalo just as much as we respect those who take care of us. The third teaching is the bear, which represents courage. Always having the courage to do what is right, even when it is hard. Especially how Mama Bear protects her cubs, always putting them first and standing for them in every way possible. The fourth teaching is the beaver, which represents wisdom. The beaver has 2 front teeth they are gifted with. And if they don't use their 2 front teeth, they will get sick and they will die. That is their purpose in their life, just like we have a purpose in our life, where if we don't use our purpose, we will get sick and possibly die. If we don't die, we either have a mental health issue, we have a physical issue that just deteriorates us and causes us to die inside in our spirit. And then the fifth teaching is Bigfoot, which represents honesty. A lot of people laugh at this one because a lot of people think that Bigfoot does not exist. And Bigfoot represents just being yourself, being able to get out of your head and speak from your heart. The sixth teaching is the wolf, which represents humility. The wolf always has a wolf pack, and being able to be a part of that wolf pack is the biggest honor and the way that the wolf lives. For the wolf to be shunned away from his pack is the greatest humility that the wolf could ever have. So we would always put our brothers and sisters and our elders and our children before us, having humbleness. And the seventh teaching is Grandmother Turtle, which represents truth. Being able to live in all of these teachings gives us truth, and that is the greatest that we can ever accomplish. And these are the teachings that First Nations have always lived by since time immemorial. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that, Pearl.
Thank you for the beautiful flute.
Yes. You know, that's something that we're doing as artists is continuing to learn. And the 7 teachings is something that we just recently added into our show. And we thought it would be important to do that here for you. Which leads into our next song. Usually since the pandemic has started in our live performances, we usually have a young baby in between us. And he's about 3, how old is he in that picture?
Oh, 7 weeks.
7 weeks. And he usually sits about right here in our Zoom sessions and our performing. And he is the next generation.
He is my grandson.
Yes.
His name is Jermaine, and he was blessed with the name Travel South Safely. So we came up with a lullaby that represents the babies and the future generations that are to follow us.
And as I was getting to talk about the next generation, this young gentleman, Jermaine, his name is, he's already dancing. Before he could walk, he had a hand drum in his hand and he was singing. I didn't find a hand drum until I was in my late 20s. And I didn't actually start powwow dancing until I was 35. Now as we see this next generation, we're putting drums in their hands and we're getting them into outfits and being proud of who they are. And I think that's a big part of Orange Shirt Day, is not only being proud of who yourself as a First Nations, but just as a Canadian, as a person. And to really know where you come from and know your culture, I think is important for your future, and to pass that on, and to keep that close to you. And so this is a song called Little Baby that we're going to share with you. You can get it on all the major platforms. It's our first single as the Healers, and it's our first ever round dance song. that we put out. We ya, we ya, ya, we ya, we ya, ya, we ya, we ya, ya, hey yo, hey yo. I seen you, mommy. I choose you, daddy. We are a family. We are, we are. The world is waiting for you, little baby. A blessing from the skies. You're here to change our lives, the future in our eyes. Hey yo, hey yo. Yahweh, way, yah, yah, Yahweh, way, yah, yah, way, yah, way, yah, yah, hey yo, hey yo. So yes, that is our first single. And what are we at here? We are at...
We're done.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so
Enjoy yourselves.
much.
Enjoy the live stream. Thank you so much for having the healers in the house. Have a wonderful day.
So many of our stories have been shared through ceremony for many generations. The Cree Healing Song is one such song and story. Traditionally, when we sing this song, we stop in the third round. We stop drumming to invite in healing, because there is healing in stillness, healing in silence, and healing in reflection. This song was shared through many different families, through many different Cree nations, and even the song had traveled beyond Cree nations. The song has power and strength. Many of our elders who had kept it in ceremony for so long said now is the time to bring it to all people. All of our nations need to hear it. It is for our society to come together to heal, to learn from each other, and to grow together. It is not only healing the wounds of our past, but healing the wounds within and repairing the world for all of our future generations. This is the Cree Healing Song, and when we drum, we do it with a heartbeat, to recognize the heartbeat that connects each and every one of us, and the heartbeat of Mother Earth.
To include elders and knowledge keepers because of the lifelong learning that we've experienced. I think as Aboriginal people, we need to have that understanding, but what's really important is from the outset to establish that respect and to honor one another. Now, being in a large city as Mohkinstsis, that should not discourage us for how we would like to begin this relationship with the youth, I really see that as an opportunity. We need the support of the families as well. And I think this is where the youth can really begin to share that experience with their families. And I would think that would be a tremendous journey to go on.
I have worked alongside USAE through my engagement with Canada Bridges. I continue to be astonished by the work that USAE does. In particular, my engagement has been most closely with Levi First Charger, and I think he really embodies something that was told to me by a friend. Youth don't just want something to do, youth want someone to do it with. And I really believe that that's what I've seen from Levi. In addition to the team here at USAE, they are out in the community, they are meeting youth where they're at, they are really invested in the young people, and the relationships that they hold with the youth they work with are genuine.
So we've had the pleasure to have USAE and BGCC work together on a few different things since I've been with the organization. Levi recently was able to join my youth program to talk about mentorship in his career and why he does what he does, which creates a beautiful place for our kids to see real role models. USAE has always been a great access point for our program if we're needing something, and vice versa. If we can help them, we've always been able to. So it's been a very genuine and comfortable collaboration.
The core work of Encore is re-engaging youth who have left school to come back. Encore and USAE has been a very successful partnership. When we started, Encore started, the idea was we want to help kids finish high school. And we knew there was a dropout rate of about 20 to 25% typically with youth. We also knew that Indigenous youth were dropping out at a much higher rate, 60 to 70%. When we looked at our stats after the first year, we saw we were seeing almost no Indigenous youth, so we had to do something. And that's when we reached out, met USAE. Thanks to Levi and thanks to USAE, we were introduced into the Indigenous community, their ways of working, their ways of knowledge. And now today, 5 years later, we have close to 30%, 35% of our clientele are Indigenous youth, and we can put it down to our partnership with USAE.
I'd like to thank you, and I hope you're enjoying our event today. I'd like to introduce an elder, Marilyn Shingoose, as well as Blackfoot Confederacy. Thank you.
guess I'll say that we just sang the flag song. We also sang a retreat song. Just talking a little bit about the tunes here. And my name is Skip Wolflag. This is Leo Wells, and this is his son Harlan Mitchus. And we're the Blackfoot Confederacy drummers. And I'd like to welcome you all here, and we're glad to be here. It's a different setting than we're usually used to, but it's the new world, I guess, and hope everybody enjoys the songs. Grass dancers came in. Usually the first ones to flatten the grass down. We're setting up all our lodges for a new camp. They come in, they flatten the grass down. We did about 4 starts. Usually what they ask for at a powwow, but these grass dancers will probably grass dance probably for hours until the grass is all flat and all the holes were covered up, stuff like that. So we can set up a nice flat area for the new camp to be set up. we'll try. We just finished singing a foot slide. Some people call it crow hop. I don't know. Heard some of these songs were used for horse stealing songs also. We actually tested this one time at Stampede, singing one of these songs, and the horses were kind of jumping around, kind of responding to our music. So maybe they actually did use these for horse stealers. But anyways, we're going to sing another song that's kind of laid claim to Blackfoot Confederacy, lays claim to this song, this dance, the Prairie Chicken Dance. Prairie chickens lived out here in the plains, and long story short, basically it was a story of these, I guess, the mating ritual of the prairie chickens. And this is one of the songs that goes to that dance. Hey! fits in.
Thanks a lot for having us. Hi, hi.
So many of our stories and our songs carry so much significance and meaning. This song is the Cree Creator Song. When we sing it, it's to honor all of creation and to remind ourselves that when we say all my relations, it means all of us. We're related to the plants, to the animals, to the flying ones, the crawling ones, to the mountains, and our ancestry runs deep. We are related to each other. We are brothers and sisters on this planet. And this song reminds us of that. It reminds us of the sacred breath that we all share together. This is the Cree Creator Song.
Again, I'd like to thank you for attending our event today. If I had a message to send out to everybody right now, would be to, in this day and age, we all have social media and devices to record. And I have a challenge to send out to everybody. Record your language, record your elders, record your stories, record the history of your last name. It's such an important connection to make in identity and who we are, and again, connect back to language. Ladies and gentlemen, a member of the Siksika Nation, known for his work with Indigenous teens, powerful storytelling, motivational speaking, and freestyle rapping, Dwight Fairhat, aka Tribe 1491.
Hey. Thanks so much. I hope you're all doing well today. I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, my name's Dwight Farhat, also known as Tribe 1491. I am in a... my roots trace back to the Siksika Nation, to Palestine, and to Wales, England. I grew up here in Calgary, and in my daytime, in my daily life, I teach art, I teach rap, I do crazy art projects, And I really just try to help people and youth to fall deeper in love with themselves or back in love with themselves, because that's a journey that I had a lot of struggle with throughout my life. And so I decided at very young that this is what I would decide to do with my life. It's just I wanted to become a social worker. I wanted to work in a group home. I remember I lived in a group home, and when I was there was a big shift that happened in my life that made me want to decide to work in a group home. And so that was a big change in the course of my life. But I guess before I get into my speech and stuff, a friend of mine told me it's always important to lead with your art. And so I'm going to share a song with you that I created not very long ago. It's called Memories of You, and in brackets, MMIW. And I wrote this song when I went to march for the murdered and missing women in Calgary here. And at the march, I saw a little boy, and he was carrying a sign. And on the sign was a picture of his mother. And I knew his mother from the community. Like, I wasn't best friends with her or anything, but I saw her around. And I remember just like watching him walk and then seeing the other kids carrying the signs of their moms, and it really hit my heart. And so I remember I was driving home and I started to think about this, and I was just crying, and I was playing some instrumentals, and this song kind of came on, and I decided to write this song from that little boy's point of view, because we hear about murdered and missing Indigenous women, and for some people it's easy to pass, because we hear just Native people, they're protesting again, and rah, 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 they're making noise. And murdered and missing Indigenous women, yeah, sure, whatever. But we don't really think about the children and how it affects them. How life-changing is it to be at home one day and your mom, when you have a babysitter or something, and then all of a sudden your mom's not coming home anymore. And the police don't know what to tell you. And then your auntie can't take care of you anymore. So you have to move to a new house. And a bunch of situations around you teach you that you're not worth it, because no one's really looking for my mom the way they need to. And no one's caring for me the way I need to. And we lose a lot of that love in our heart. And so that's what I made this song for. And yeah, that's the story of it. So if we want to play that, that'd be wonderful.
Every one of them has a story connected by a common tragedy, yet they stand together as evidence of strength, publicly making their mark, giving names to the missing and murdered.
Yes, I know. I love a day like this, it's true. I live in memories of you, and we're together. Yes, I know. I love a day like this, it's true. I live in memories of you, and we're together.
You were so much more than just a girl to me. Yes, you my whole world to me. I can hashtag the love I have for you across the sky. The smile in your eyes makes me feel I'm alive, and I know I can survive in your warmth and your comfort. You always make everything work. The way you held my hand and tucked me in at night. You couldn't take away the pain, but you made everything alright. You always made me laugh. My safe place is next to you. Count my fingers and my toes, then we snuggle, cuddle, tickle too. I love to sleep next to you, 'cause I'm your little cutie boo. The smell of your hair is the scent of home. I don't know where you gone, but I know I'm alone. Mom, you're the definition of love, and I'd do anything right now just to give you a hug, 'cause I know that you're worth it. And even if they don't think you're worth it, you're perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect.
Yes, I know. I love a day like this, it's true.
It's true.
I live in memories of you,
I do.
and we're together. Yes, I know. I love a day like this, it's true. I live in memories of you, and we're together.
Your scent slowly fades from this pillowcase. They say I can't stay at home, so I'm in this strange place. Mom, I'm scared and I miss you, and your scent's almost gone, so I'm scared I'll forget you. I talk to your picture almost every night. I say I hope that you come home, and I hope that you're alright, but there's no answers. So we're left in this moment, we're clinging on to hope when it feels that it's hopeless. MMIW, it's like they can't see the pain. If they took the eye out, would they see us the same? I don't know. All I know is you're gone, and I hurt right now because you're not coming home. Mom, you're the definition of love, and I'd do anything right now just to give you a hug, cause I know that you're worth it. And even if they don't think you're worth it, you're perfect.
Yes, I know. I love a day like this, it's true.
It's true.
I live in memories of you.
I do.
And we're together. Yes, I know. I love a day like this, it's true.
It's true.
I live in memories of you.
I do.
And we're together. And I know. I love a day like this, it's true. I live in memories of you, and we're together. I love you, Mommy.
When I wrote that, I couldn't stop crying. I wrote that in the alley, parked in my car, just playing that beat and singing that chorus over and over again. And I know I love a day like this, it's true. When I live in memories of you and we're together. See, our people, we've been taken away from our families for too long. And when you're taken away from your family, like my dad was taken away from his when he went to residential school, like my nieces were taken away from my sister, and like all my friends in my neighborhood who were taken away and finally came back to their home or just ran away back to their home. When that happens to somebody, we learn that we're not worth it. We get a hole in our heart that eats away at ourselves. And we forget that we're the miracle. We forget that we are strong and that we are powerful and that we are definitely worth fighting for. And when these kids grow up and they forget that they are strong and they are powerful and that they are worth fighting for, they grow up and you have this hollow feeling deep inside of you. And the only way to fill this hollow feeling deep inside of you is to fill it. For myself, it was with drugs and alcohol, and to fill it with being bad. Because when you feel worthless and you don't feel like you have purpose in your life, sometimes you do extreme things to get that feeling back. Sometimes that extreme thing is stealing a car or robbing a gas station. If I don't feel important and I feel invisible and I feel worthless, if I go up into a gas station and I point a gun at somebody, how important am I at that moment? I am so important. And so before we get to that point, we can start to help and mentor our youth by telling them that they are important, by showing them that we love them, by showing up for them, by trying to keep the family together. When our families are apart, our hearts are apart. And so in my work, that's really what I do, is I run programs each week, teaching rap usually, or doing giant art projects, or graffiti, or dance. And And what I do is I would just sit in a circle with everybody. They show up, I wear a smile. Hey, I'm glad you're here. And when you say, look somebody in the eyes and say, I'm glad you're here, it shows that somebody thinks they're important. And a lot of times when these kids come to program, it might be the only time where they show up and they have somebody who tells them that they're important. And so as it's our role as adults to show up, give love, and let these kids know that they're important, that they are strong, that they are powerful, and that they are worth loving. And in order for us to be able to do that, we need to know that we're strong, that we're powerful, and that we're worth loving. For a long, long time, I knew in my heart that I was not worth loving at all. But I decided that I was worth fighting for. And so one day I stepped up to the mirror and I looked in the mirror and I said, Dwight, I love you. And it was a lie. But I knew I was worth fighting for. So I told myself I'm going to do this every day. Because I knew that a belief is just a thought that you've said over and over and over again till it becomes your truth. And I wanted to change my truth for myself. I didn't want to believe the colonial lies, the media lies that told me I would grow up to be nothing. And I started to plant the seeds. Dwight, I love you. Dwight, you're powerful. Dwight, you're strong. I believe in you. Today you're going to get through this. Dwight, I love you. And although I didn't believe these seeds that I was planting, I looked in the mirror and they were still lies. I stuck with it. Dwight, I love you. You're powerful. You're strong. And months went by and years went by. And then one day I stepped up to the mirror and I said, Dwight, I love you. And a miracle happened. It was no longer a lie. And so before I leave, I'm not sure how much time I have left, but that's my challenge to you. Is that I want you to take those moments, to look in the mirror and challenge yourself to say, I love you. And if you don't believe it, know that it's okay. We live in a world where Instagram and Facebook and social media tell us that we have to be perfect. Everything right now has to be perfect. It's okay for everything not to be perfect. But it's not okay to accept that. And if we're at that point where we might accept it, it's time to reach out for help. Because you deserve the help. And for myself is what I did is I literally just tried to save myself from my own destruction. Too many of us, we are waiting for the miracle to step into our lives. We're waiting for someone to come and save us. We're waiting for some magic cure to take the one thing away from us. But the miracle is within you. The miracle is in your heart. The miracle was the breath that Creator gave you and made your heart beat after 6 weeks. No one knows why your heart starts beating after 6 weeks. And I believe that it's Creator blowing His love into you. And that's something really special. You are a miracle. You are important. You are strong. You are powerful. And you are worth fighting for. Thank you so much, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chantal Chagnon and her traditional dancers.
Shanyo! Hello, everyone. So, these are amazing, amazing, beautiful dancers, and I think it's so important to empower the youth to be able to reclaim
who we are, where we're going, because they are the future. We're borrowing the earth from them. No pressure, guys, but you're going to have to clean up the mess that we made. But when we see youth dance, there's something so incredibly beautiful about it. It's powerful. It's honoring those traditional ways, but it's knowing that that legacy is going to continue. And so, I'm going to share a little bit of the song that I'm going to share first. So the first song that I'm going to share, this is a song that came through me for Wild Context, which is a project that I was doing in the Weaselhead. And it really teaches us about listening and connecting with the wind and connecting with the animals and the plants, because all of them have a voice, and we have a voice. It's really important to reclaim our voices as Indigenous people, as young people, but also the older people as well. And the way that we do that is through our stories and through sharing and being present. And so it was Kale first, right? Oh, Austin's first. Okay. So Austin, step on up. So this is Austin, and what you're going to notice about her regalia is there's got lots of fringes, but all regalia tells a story. It tells a story of who we are. So it's not a costume, because costumes are for Halloween, but it tells a story of our teachings. It tells a story of our personality. It tells a story of our family. And so every image, even all of our beading, it not only is time-consuming, but you always put a little bit of a mistake in there to remind us that nothing in the world is perfect. Creator doesn't make perfection. This is why our hearts are on the left-hand side. And so it reminds us that sometimes we have to go through those hard times to really learn and understand and heal and come into a place of resiliency. You'll also notice her beautiful fan. Now, traditionally her fans were made with eagle feathers, and when we raise them up, it's the way that we connect to Creator, or God, Allah, Buddha, the big spaghetti monster in the sky, whatever you want to pray to. But it's our way to honor that deity and that connection that we have with our spirit. And so when she dances, you'll notice she's very light on her feet. It's floating, and it's like that wind is just kind of bringing those. I always see, whenever I see traditional dances, I see all of the seeds dissipating on the wind and the way that they float about. And sometimes they land and sometimes they take off to go and find their true home. But it's really about honoring the connection that we have to Mother Earth. It's really about honoring, that beauty and that sacredness in each and every one of us. And women were the ones that would traditionally lead our nations. And so it would be the grandmothers and the mothers walking this dance. And those future generations that knew that they were going to take those places of responsibility. But it was really about bringing that healing and connection to their nation. And so this is the traditional. And the Community Voices song. If I can remember it. Way out, way out, way ho. 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 Way out, way out. Thank you, Austin. You're amazing and I love you. Next up, we're going to have Kale. All right, Kale, come on up. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of story about the regalia that Kale is wearing. So it also tells a story, but it looks like a butterfly. So this is the traditional fancy dance. It's also called the butterfly dance, the women's fancy. And it's an Anishinaabe dance. And when you watch it, it looks like a butterfly floating on the breeze. And so the story behind the regalia was a long time ago, there was an Anishinaabe man, and his daughter was really, really sick. She was so sick she couldn't get out of bed, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with her. And many different medicine men from many different nations had come, and no one could get her to stand back up, and no one could figure out what was wrong. And then in a dream, he felt the butterfly spirit come to him. He felt his elders come to him. And as he was walking on the land, he kept seeing the butterflies. And then when he had another dream, he realized that he had to make something, this beautiful cape that we see, a beautiful regalia. And so he did. Took him so many weeks to just really painstakingly stitch on all of the different fringes. And then when he did, it was just an incredible and beautiful piece of regalia that we see today. And so he wrapped it around his daughter who was laying in bed. And the first day, for the first time, she sat up in bed. And that was a miracle in of itself, because she hadn't been sitting up for months and months and months. And then the next day, when he wrapped that beautiful regalia about her, not only did she sit up, she took deep breaths and she put her feet on the floor. That was the first time she had touched and reconnected to the earth in almost a year. Then the next day, he wrapped that beautiful regalia around her again, and she took steps towards the door of her teepee. She went back to bed, and then the next day, when he wrapped that beautiful shawl around her, she took it, took a deep breath, very strongly and proudly walked out the door of the teepee, and she began dancing with all of the butterflies. She floated on the breeze just like them. And so now, when we see this beautiful dance, it's about healing all of our nation's wounds. It's about healing ourselves, and about honoring all of the beauty that surrounds us. And so the song that we're going to share with it is the Laughing Song. Way high oh, way high hi yo, way ho, why yo, way ho, way ho, way yo, way yo, way yo, way yo, way high oh, way high hi yo, way ho, why yo, way ho, way ho, way yo, way yo, way yo, way yo, way high yo, way high hi yo, way ho, why yo, way ho, way yo, way yo, way yo, way yo, right? Way high yo, way high hi yo, way ho, why yo, way ho, way yo, way yo, way yo, way yo. Awesome. Next up, we have Jay. So Jay is wearing the beautiful traditional, this is jingle, and there's always a debate of where jingle came from. I'm Anishinaabe, so it's Anishinaabe. But with the jingle, you'll notice the cones, and each and every one of those cones represents a different day of the year, so there are 365 cones on this. And when we dance in this regalia, it's our way of healing. It's our way of honoring the water. So when we hear the regalia and when we hear her dance, it almost sounds like rain coming down or water flowing. It's because that's how we heal. We heal with water. We have water that runs through our veins, and it reminds us of that necessity about honoring that water within us, but also about letting those tears flow, because that's how we heal. We heal through crying. We heal through releasing that water. The song that I'm going to share with you is the Water Song. Now, when I first heard this song, I thought it was called the rain song because I could hear the rain coming down and then the thunder and the lightning. And then we were at a family reunion and we started arguing, me and my cousins, because that's what cousins do at family reunions. And my cousin's like, no, 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 it's the river song. Because when she hears it, she could hear herself going down a river in a canoe and hitting rapids and then eventually hitting a huge waterfall. And so that's what she heard. And then our other cousin, who's been living in Vancouver for a while, was like, no, 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 no. It's the ocean song. Because she could hear the ocean rocking back and forth, and then the waves crashing. And so we were just sitting there arguing back and forth about what the song was called. Is it the river song? Is it the ocean song? Is it the rain song? And then my auntie comes up behind us, as normal aunties usually do, and says, "What's wrong with you girls? It's the water song." So we were told. So we didn't argue with her, and it is the water song. And so you might hear the ocean, you might hear the river, you might hear the rain, but no matter what, you will hear that water that flows within each and every one of us, that water that flows in our community, and that deep compassion that we need to have for each other and for the water, because it sustains us. So this is the Anishinaabe water song, and Jay dancing the jingle. Wishita do ya wishita do ya day. 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 Wishatanaya, hey ha, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ha, hey. Wishatanaya, hey ha, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ha, hey. Wishatanaya, hey ha, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ha, hey. Wishatanaya, hey ha, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ha, hey. Wishita do ya wishita do ya day. 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 Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey. Wishita do ya wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya wishita do ya day. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey. Wishatanaya, hey ya, hey ya. Wishatanaya, hey ya. That's fine. Wishita do ya wishita do ya day. Wishita do ya wishita do ya day. Awesome. Thank you, Jay. And last but not least, we've got Danica. So Danica has these beautiful, beautiful hoops. And the hoop is a storytelling dance. So it's our way to kind of communicate different things that we see, different things that we do. So when you're watching the hoop dance, sometimes you'll see things, whether it be maybe a bow hunter, or maybe you'll see a moose, or maybe you'll see somebody carrying a basket, or perhaps you'll see a bumblebee or an eagle. But no matter what, you're going to see what is meant for you to see at that time. You're going to carry forward the teachings that are meant for you to see in this dance. This is why it is a storytelling dance. And so the song that we're going to share with it is the bear song. And the Anishinaabe bear song is shared in many different dialects, but it's very recognizable. And it used to be my son's favorite song. He would come from like miles around as soon as he would hear it. He'd be like, "This is my favorite song!" It's awesome. But the bear It teaches us about strength and courage, like most people assume, but it's more than that. It's the strength to stand up for what's right, and it's the courage to be yourself. And so when we watched the bear, it would know exactly how to live on the land. We would learn from the bear what to eat and when to eat it. We would know how to get ready for winter. If the bear was getting really fat, chances are it was going to be a really cold winter, so you should probably head south. Bear, not so fat. Don't worry about it, it won't be that bad. But we would also listen to the bear because it would warn us when something was wrong. And so even now, they warn us. Out west with the pine beetles, the bears are actually chewing and clawing and ripping pods of pine beetles off the trees, trying to slow their progress, warning us these beetles are a problem, get rid of them. And they're showing us this. Out in Williams Lake a few years ago, the bear stopped eating the fish, just completely stopped eating the fish. And the First Nations people who watched the bear were like, uh-oh, don't eat the fish. And it's a little bit of a tourist town out there, so let's just say all the fishermen didn't listen and didn't get the memo, and everyone started to get pretty sick. And they had a lot of tummy troubles. It was not a very pleasant vacation. And so when scientists came to figure out what was going on, because they thought maybe it was the water, but then they tested the fish, and they found a tiny microorganism in the fish that was making everybody sick. So the bear knew it. They didn't eat the fish. The First Nations people knew it. They didn't touch the fish. But everybody else didn't get the memo and had a pretty miserable vacation. And so the bear always warns us of these things. Even here in Alberta, the bear has warned us of things that we're doing that are causing problems. So some of you may know this, but a little over a decade ago, well, probably almost a decade ago now, there were a whole bunch of hungry wolves that were just dropped in the middle of Banff National Park from our lovely American friends. And they were just devastating the population of the deer and the elk and the moose and the bighorn sheep who thrive there. And the bear, who would occasionally eat those animals, saw that the wolves were causing a problem. And the bear knew that they had to step in. So instead of eating the game animals like they normally would, the bear actually started to eat the wolves. Because they knew by eating the wolves, not only would they sustain themselves, but they would protect all of those other animals for the seasons to come. What I find really amazing is they were mostly eating the American wolves. I don't know, maybe they were salty or deep fried or sugary, I don't know. So, but it's amazing because they were warning us, like, these guys are knocking things out of balance. So they do what they can to balance the environment. And they teach us that's what we need to do. Sometimes we have to do things like that aren't comfortable for us to make our community a better place. Sometimes we got to work hard. I always tell my kids, sometimes we have to do our chores because that's what the bear would do. But it's really about giving back to our community and only taking what we need. The bear only takes what it needs, and it always gives something back. And so it reminds us that's how we have to live in balance. That's true strength, and that's true courage. So this is the Anishinaabe Bear Song, and this is the storytelling dance of the hoop. Danica. Mani tu makwa, hey Anishinaabe. Wea, 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 ya, wea, wea. Wea, 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 Mani tu makwa, kaminana se. Mani tu makwa, hey Anishinaabe. Live, everyone, live. So, I think one of the stories that I want to share, and the girls are going to share their beautiful dances too. This is the Raven story. And I love the Raven story because it reminds us to be humble. So, many, many years ago, before us as two-leggeds roamed this earth, the animals looked really different. They all had different things to learn about the world and how they were going to teach us how to live on the land and how to live with each other. And so all of the animals had different lessons to learn. And the raven looked really different indeed. So he had rainbow feathers. So no matter which way you looked at him, he had a little different shimmer of rainbow everywhere. He looked very sparkly, very shiny, very iridescent. And because of this, he started to get a little full of himself. And so he would just strut around, look at himself in like the river or in puddles going, I am so gorgeous. I am so fabulous. I am so rainbow. I'm the best. Obviously, I'm the best animal because, like, look at me. I'm obviously the best. And so he would strut around telling all of the animals, hey, guys, look at me. I'm the best. And so all of the animals started going, well, no, Raven, you're not the best. Like, we're all created equal. Like, nobody's better or worse than anyone else. And he said, except for me, because look at me. I'm obviously the best. You shouldn't even try. And so all of the animals started going, well, if Raven's the best, then maybe we're not special at all. And so they just stopped trying. And as they stopped trying, everything around the world started falling apart. The bees stopped pollinating, so all of the plants started dying. The squirrels stopped burying nuts, and so all of the trees stopped growing. The wonderful birds that actually eat all the bugs that are in trees were like, we'll just eat the ones that are on the ground because it's easier. And so they stopped doing that, and the trees started dying. And so it was brutal. Everything in the world just started falling apart. And the bear, who of course keeps everything in balance, was like looking around and going, whoa. Wait a second. What is happening here? Why isn't anybody doing what makes them amazing? And all of the animals explained, well, Raven said that he's the best, so why should we even bother trying? And the bear said, that's ridiculous. Nobody's greater or less than anyone else. You know what? I'll go talk to the raven. You guys just keep doing what makes you amazing. Because if you don't, look around. Everything will just fall apart. And the animals looked around and they realized they had a purpose. Every one of them had a reason for being the way that they were. And they had a gift, and they needed to share that with the world. And so they continued being amazing. And so the bear lumbered over to the raven and said, Raven, what are you doing? You're making everybody feel bad. And the raven said, well, it's not my fault I'm amazing and I'm obviously the best animal. And the bear said, no, Raven, you're not the best. Nobody's better or less than anyone else. And the raven said, except for me, because Bear, have you seen me? Look at these feathers. They're amazing. And the bear was trying to reason with the raven, trying to get him to apologize to everyone, but he just wouldn't hear it. And finally, the bear got frustrated and said, okay, fine, Raven, if you're the best, why don't you go and catch the sun? Can any animal catch the sun? No. But the raven, who wasn't thinking straight, was like, yeah, I'm the best, so of course I can catch the sun. And so without thinking, he flew higher and higher towards the sun. And he started to get a little warmer, but he was determined to prove that he was the best, so he flew higher and higher, and he was getting really warm and toasty, and he continued to fly higher and higher, determined to prove that he was the best. And as he got closer and closer to the sun, he got hotter, and his feathers burst into flames, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm on fire! And he crashed into the ocean. He pulled himself to the shore, and as he looked down, his feathers weren't rainbow anymore. They were completely burned. Well, he was mad. How could the bear play such a mean trick on him? And so he was going to go give that bear a piece of his mind. And so he started marching angrily to the bear. Well, he's a raven, so he started hopping angrily to the bear. And as he started going, because he had flown quite a ways, he started passing all of the other animals. And he watched them do what made them amazing. He watched as the beaver redirected the river to change flooding down the stream, but also to create new life and new medicines. He watched as the ants worked together as a community to clear huge amounts of brush. How the wasps, even though they're kind of jerks, they actually were cleaning up the earth. He watched as all of the pollinators made the plants grow, and he thought, wow, you guys are all amazing. And then he looked down at his feathers. He thought, oh, but I'm not special anymore. And so he apologized to all of the animals. He was watching as they were doing incredible things, and he's like, you guys are all incredible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I ever made you feel like you were less than amazing. And so as he walked and apologized to everyone, he realized something very important: humility. And as he got to the bear, he said, Bear, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for making everyone feel bad. I know now that I wasn't better than anyone else. They're all incredible. But Bear, look at me. I'm not special anymore. And the bear said, no, Raven, you're really special because you did learn humility. You learned how to be humble and how to not compare yourself to others because you never know how incredible they're going to be. And the raven thought about it for a minute. He said, well, Bear, how do I share humility? And the bear said, well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. And so the raven thought about it for a minute. And then he thought about the trick that the bear played on him. And he thought, it's kind of a funny trick. And then the more he thought about it, and the more he thought about humility, he could just play tricks on people. He could play tricks on people and teach everybody how to be humble. And then he got his voice for the first time. He started laughing. And this not only is how the raven got his voice, but also how the raven became the trickster. And till this day, even though the raven's feathers are black, there's a little shimmer of rainbow in them to remind the raven to stay humble. And that is the raven story. And the raven song is a lot of fun, so we actually get to yell in it, which is awesome. So it's about finding your voice, it's about finding your place, but also appreciating everybody else in your circle. And you guys can take turns for rounds or whichever, however you'd like to dance. All right. This song I actually learned from my Cherokee, I call him Cherokee, because we were actually cousins, and I heard this song, and then I was like, hey, where'd this song come from? Because it stuck with me. And it's, he calls it Cherokee, because it's Cree, but it's also Cherokee. This is the Raven song. introduce themselves and talk about what do you guys think Orange Shirt Day means? Because I think this is why we're here. We talked about Pokaiks to children. I know, I'm going to put you on the spot. This is what I do. But I think it's really important to hear from the kids, you know, and are you going to go? All right, so you can introduce yourself and tell them why. I wait until they're out of breath, and then I ask them questions. It's the best.
Hi, I'm Jay, and Orange Shirt Day to me it's just really important because if we can't learn from our past, then we're not going to do better in the future. And I feel like it was just such a horrible time, and that so many people went through so much, and that it's still affecting people now, and that if we can't learn from it now, that stuff like that will keep happening, and we'll end up with just horrible everywhere.
Hi, I'm Danica. To me, it's just remembering like what other people went through and like why we're where we are now, and like how we got here and what people like the sacrifice they went through, how that impacted us.
Hi, I'm Kale. Orange Shirt Day to me means not taking away people's cultures and respecting all people and not treating them funny or not talking to them just because they might look different or just because they might act in a different way. And it's to remember that where we are right now is actually a really good place and that we shouldn't like try to change it. And what the people went through back then, it was really just a horrible time, and that we are actually really lucky right now. Hi, my name's Austin. Just everything that they said.
So why is your regalia orange?
Because it's a nice color.
There you go. Awesome.
I don't know.
So I think it's really interesting. So when Orange Shirt Day came about, it was because of a lady who had that experience. Like, she was so excited. She was so hopeful to go to school. And she was so hopeful that her granny took her into town to buy whatever she wanted to wear for her first day of school. And she chose an orange shirt. To her, the orange shirt was hope. It was, you know, all of that prosperity that could be in front of her, that future that laid in front of her. And there was an excitement about that. But that hope was quickly stripped away, literally and figuratively, when she was finally brought to residential school. And the first thing they did was strip her, take away that beautiful orange shirt that she was so proud of, that she had so much hope in, and put on something so dark and so gray. And it really perfectly symbolized everything that residential school was. We had an ability and a promise and so much hope. And then it was just destroyed and taken away. A lot of our families were torn apart because of residential school, mine included. And we're still fighting those scars. But the only way to heal is to come together, to learn from each other, to grow together, to understand the truth behind events like this, and to understand that we have to come together as a society to heal and to make sure we don't make those mistakes again. Absolutely. I wanted to share one last song with everyone. This is a traveling song. And I had learned it from one of my two spirit elders before she had passed. And for a long time, it left me. But I find that songs and stories, they come to us when we need them the most. And in recent days, this song was needed. It was needed to be able to share, to be able to move forward, to be able to let go of those things in our past, but also to be able to come together and find a better path for all of our future generations. And it's important that we recognize those scars that we carry, but also recognize that we're not those traumas. Those do not define us. Those do not make us who we are. We can rise above them, and we can do that together. So this is a traveling song. You guys don't have to dance if you don't want to. Hey, hey, ah, hey, oh. much, everyone, and hi. Thank you guys so much. I think it's so hopeful when we see so many wonderful people come together to share their stories and, their incredible art, their incredible culture, and I think sometimes we might be afraid to ask, but I think it's important. If you don't ask, then you don't know. So have conversations with people. Don't create an us and them mentality, but come together and realize we are so much more similar than we are different. And it's a gift to be able to learn from each other. And that's the only way that we're going to be able to change things. Hi, everybody. Jimagwitch. Thank you, girls. You want me to dance or sing you off? All right. Oh. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna drum awkwardly. Get you my peso. You can just dance your way off. Get you my peso, money to get you I know. Way hey yo. Way hey yo. Way yo. Get you my peso, money to get you I know. Way hey yo. Way hey yo. Way yo. Get you my peso, money to get you I know. Way hey yo. Way hey yo. Way yo. Get you my peso, money to get you I know. Way hey yo. Way hey yo. Way yo.
For an opportunity to own this original artwork from Nathan McGinnis from Tsutina. There's more details on the website. Thank you for joining our event today. Gerimatsin.
Okay. Tegekse matsi panoka nitkanau panakawattu akanakikkanautu. I'm very humbled and honored to be able to send everybody on with the event we had with the Pokaiks and all those that are still with us and all those that put a lot of effort into highlighting those children that went to residential school. So with that, I'm going to send you on your way with a prayer, and then I'm going to honor you with my personal warrior song. Ayo chipata piopaki. Ao kispommo ki tohtuu kene ki take away piksi sana kauks Pokaiks sana kaattuak. O ki tikutsini taki chipata piop. Ani danstini stutui pinana kai mai anaki tuitskatum. Anaki sinasatu manokama kapukawa kawattuak. O ki chipata piop. Nohka kutsaka nasuka piahtahtawaapsia. Ani danstini stutui pinana kapukawa ki topiwak. Oikein saki taapassa ja kaksi kaakkima. Oki päätä pio. Anna kessohkään katsomat pinaanisti päätä pio. Anne kumkrististum sin taksauma tapskuukin. Niin kakkauen saakat se poisksem. Ainakaan puukaa vakanakemat tapioak. Oki päätä pio. Nohkusi kummoäkä nääsukaapi. Ahksi taam kanout kaivana kiittuak. Okäksem skatuumeäkä nääsukaapi. Ook tahkomaansta waakastui takpinaan annakin tooppiwa. Ook ennäkin johkanistini iksemat siitä muutsi päätäpiops pommokin. Ookki nää piousse niistä vatsemaan. Kammotaan ooki taami päätäpio sen näistä päätäpio. Hei 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 oh hei hei hey, hey, oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, oh, hey, 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 ay, 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 oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh. Hanakito pivaka, Annak sakita puakahkoak states about the person. Hey, 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 oh, hey.